Sitting here back from CNH Small again for another informative gun review. This one deals with a purchase I made here pretty recently. I sold one of my guns and I sold some of my ammunition off that I had over here, and I got a another AK here as well too. I'm doing a review here for it. The AK is a new production DDI milled forged receiver AK. They just came out on the market here, I believe, right before Thanksgiving. This one was actually purchased right before Thanksgiving. It was basically DDI shipped them out right before Thanksgiving, and they became available on most of the stores on or about the same week as Thanksgiving. So this is a review based on my relative interpretation of the overall quality, condition, and effectiveness of the rifle as well too. Okay, and I'll show you. I'll begin with the receiver itself. The receiver itself is, as I said before, the newer hammer forged milled receiver. It has the newer improved lightning cuts on here as well too. The lightning cuts actually look better than the previous DDI underfuller AKs and the regular straight stock AKs they had out a year and a half, 2 years ago. So I definitely give them props for improving the lightning cut on it. It looks more professional, and it looks actually more, quote, legitimate on her for that as well too. Next thing I'm going to talk about is the stock. The stock, DDI, quote, claims the stock is Arsenal made. I, however, would beg to differ with that because I looked all the stock. I took the upper handguard, lower handguard off on here, and I cannot find any markings whatsoever detailing that the stock is, quote, U.S. made by Arsenal or some kind of Arsenal variant or sub-company or whatever you want to call them out there for that, because I looked up and down the stock on here. There's no USA stamping anywhere on it. I took the upper handguard off here, lower handguard off. There's no USA marking anywhere on here. Mostly, if you guys know, if you have a actual Arsenal rifle, I myself got a few Arsenal rifles and stuff like that. And on the handguard, at least on the upper handguard, it says USA made or made in USA, or it'll just say US somewhere stamped around the front or back up here. It depends on where they made or what time or stuff like that, what rifle it's on. It should have a stamp. It'll say US somewhere right here in the front up here, and down the handguard, the lower handguard, it'll say US stamped somewhere on the lower handguard as well too. Well, this stock does not have anything like that, so I basically call that BS right there for that. It does not have any Arsenal markings. It does not have any U.S. markings anywhere on the black plastic stock. Nowhere, nothing on it all. The next part, your lower handguard. If it was an actual Arsenal lower handguard, it would have a heat shield underneath here. This one does not have a heat shield underneath there. There's no heat shield. They have a, I believe they have a stainless steel heat shield right underneath here on the actual Arsenal. My other Arsenal AKs, they have it right underneath here. You can actually see it when you take off the top gas tube assembly. It's actually underneath. It's molded inside of the black plastic here, and this one does not have it all in there for that. So basically, as far as I know, this is probably 99.9% not Arsenal furniture on these specific rifles they're currently making, because they make two variants of this rifle. They make the one with the black, quote, Arsenal furniture, and they make the one with the wooden Polish blonde laminate, Polish laminate stock on as well too. This one is basically the black furniture on it for it. It's not the laminate wood stock for that. Okay, continuing up on the rifle, it's a heavy barrel profile on it as well too. You have the old style Type 3, Type 2 gas block on it as well too. The next part on the other side, you have your sling attachment. This sling attachment on this one right here, it's a bit loose to say the least on it. You can see how much plays basically in it right there. It should not be playing that much on it all, because my other DDI AK does not have that kind of play at all on it. I don't know why it's that bad, but it's pretty bad. And I've probably the only way to fix it would probably put some JB weld on the back or front side. Put it from basically bounce around. I got her for that. Let me see, next part on here. I'll go to the front end. Whenever they ship these things out to you guys, they have a slant muzzle brake on them. The like the AKM, like from back in the early '60s and stuff like that. They have a slant muzzle brake, and for whatever reason, when I got done taking my rifle up the range and I was trying to sight it in initially, I took it up to a 50-yard range, because my rifle range only has 50 yards up there as a minimum distance. And I put it dead center of the target. I have a 3 by 2.5 white piece of paper with a nice big black bullseye in the middle of it, and I was aiming right in there, and it was not even hitting on the paper. It was not even touching the paper. Let me say that again. It was not even in the same piece of paper as a 3 by 2 foot across paper. And basically what I did was I kept on adjusting the front sight up here, and it brought it down. It was so far up, it was over top the paper, and that's how high it was off. It was about probably 2.5 foot off the paper on here. So what I did was I took the front slope, the actual slope break off, and I just let it shoot with the threads on the end. It basically brought the point of impact straight down about a foot, foot and a half, and I eventually got it dialed into where it's shooting at right now. It's shooting at about probably about an inch low, and about an inch and a half to the right as well too. So basically it's shooting about an inch low and an inch to the right now at 50 yards. So it's basically dialed in more or less right now after me shooting it for about an hour, because my range only lets you shoot 1 round per limit up there. You have to take your magazine out, load it up again, put it back in there. You can't do it effectively up there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See if you're going to get it in there properly. But other than that, basically the sights look pretty straight on me. They look pretty straight to me right now. I don't really have any problem with that. So I want to mention that as well too. The sights look okay. Let me see what else I'm going to mention on here for that. The rear sight in the back. I'm talking about sights. I'm talking about the rear sight. The rear sight in the back, it goes from 1 to 800 meters on here. Plus you have your rear bow sight as well too in the back here as well. These are meant specifically for your calibrated milled receiver type 3 rifles out there, where the newer AKMs and the AK-74s, variants and stuff like that, they have the 1 through 1,000 meters on it as well too. These rifles also have a side scope rail on the left hand side. You see right here, got a nice scope rail. I believe it's a Bulgarian pattern scope rail, so you can put your accessory. You got a red dot, POS, PSO type of scope or something on there. It should fit right on. I never tried it yet because I don't have a scope with this rifle. Other than that, everything looks okay. I should mention, I forgot to. I should re-amend my previous statement about the furniture. The only furniture on this rifle that actually has a U.S. stamping on here is your actual pistol grip right here. It has a U.S. right here. I forgot to mention. It completely slipped my mind, but I apologize for that. It has U.S. stamping right here on the pistol grip on the left-hand side. All the other furniture does not have anything on here at all. Nothing on the upper handguard, nothing on the mag, nothing on your rear stock portion back here. Nothing at all. Nothing. So it looks like the only portion that may be U.S. made is probably the pistol grip here as well too. Let me see what else I'm going to talk about. As I said before, the barrel is a heavy profile barrel on this rifle here. It's made by Green Mountain on here. I basically cleaned the barrel up myself here before I took up the range, just being a safe side, because it looks like they actually did test shoot or something, but they did not include a test paper showing that the gun was like sighted in and stuff like that at their quote range they have indoor, because I believe in their I think AGS Armament went to their company, and they went to their place, and they supposedly have a 25-meter indoor range now, but it looks like this gun might have not been sighted in properly or whatnot. As I said before, it was shooting super high on there until I got the sights dialed in, and I basically just put your muzzle protector on here, your muzzle thread protector on here, or I just left it open with your threads hanging out the end on it. But it's shooting a lot better now with the slant brake off the rifle. With it on, basically it was shooting off paper. I took it off, and I put this muzzle protector on here, or I just left it bare on it. It was shooting perfectly fine now. So there must have been something wrong with that muzzle brake. I don't know what it was, but I don't know anything else about that. Next part, let's see here. It has a TAPCO trigger in here, TAPCO G2 trigger on here exactly. It has a single hook trigger, even though the receiver is cut out. It looks like for a two hook trigger on here, I should say. And I'll take it apart on here, show you what's going on down inside internally down here. I don't have any ammunition in the rifle, so don't worry about that. There's nothing in the magazine. They got a part here. There's your firing, the spring in there, recoil spring. And these rifles are supposedly built on Bulgarian Type 3 milled receiver import parts kits. Well, none of these parts on here match, so I hate to burst your bubble about that. These parts do not match. You look on the side here for the where's that? Here we go. Let me hold up this side here. The bolt and the bolt carrier do not match. They have two completely different numbers on. This one says looks like 429. The other one is 129 on here for that. So these parts do not match. These bolt and the bolt carrier, the dust cover. This one does not match either. It's 549 on here as well. That doesn't match either. So that blows that theory right out of the water right there. Let me take the upper gas tube off. This one does not match either on here. They have a the tube has a stamping lettering right on here. This one says 48. Let me get this crap off here. 4862 on her for that. That doesn't match either. So none of the parts match, guys. I'm sorry to say that, but they don't match. And I'm also going to show you the lower hand guard up here. These things are not Arsenal because they do not have any Arsenal stampings. It doesn't say US made or anything else on these things at all, which is kind of disappointing in my opinion right there when they claim they're using Arsenal furniture. Let me hold that sideways. See, as I told you before, there's no stainless steel or steel guards underneath here because the Arsenal furniture, they have stainless steel guards, I believe. My other two Arsenals have them on there. It's basically to keep the heat from going from the barrel down to your hands and are for that, and basically these things will heat up relatively quickly because of not having those guards and are for that. So basically, I don't know if DDI was misleading people or just they thought they were getting Arsenal USA made stuff, but it doesn't look, there's no USA marking stamped anywhere on the inside, outside, back, front, sideways, every which way. There's nothing stamped on there, so I don't know if Arsenal's giving you the BS or what, guys. Put it back on here again. Put that back down. There we go. Put that back in there. Put the gas back in there. There we go. I should also mention the upper, you have a little bit of rattle on there, but that can be addressed. Your upper gas tube, see, some of these have notorious rattle with these things out here, but you can fix that by putting a tensioner spring in the back of your gas tube back here to push it for you. It'll basically lock in position under for that. I also want to mention on the front of the barrel crown up here, after it got done cleaning initially, it looked like it had a lot of crap, like splatter or some kind of like we don't call it. It looked like there was I'm gonna call some kind of like a sludge or slurry on the end of the barrel up here, right near the crown up here, and I cleaned most of it off up here, but I don't think it was going to affect the rifle's accuracy or anything else. But I just wanted to mention that right now because it was on there. Because if you look at the grooves on here, the actual grooves and lands on here, when you look at the crown, you can see on the top, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. The top two look perfectly fine. On the crown, the bottom one on the left, or I said the right hand side, when you're looking at it straight on, looks okay. The bottom left one got a little bit of a crap, just like sitting there. I don't know if that's going to be a problem or not in the future or anything else, but it just looks like there's like a little bit of slag or something like that. I don't know why it's on it, but I don't think it's anything really to be worried about or nothing, because the gun's shot relatively okay up there. So the actual lands coming right out of the barrel looks okay to me on all of them. I can put a one of my eye loops on there, and they look okay. There's no like dinged up or anything else like that on our floor. That, so it looks okay to me. So we'll put the stuff back together on here, guys. The bolt carrier looks okay. Got your typical AK wobble on here. I just want to show you that. That's nothing abnormal on here. Let me hold this gun better up here. Hold on. I don't want to stay falling on my friggin' hands. Okay, see. You got a little bit of wobble. See that? They all got that wobble. I would not be concerned about that if you do not have that wobble, or if you do have it. So they're supposed to have that, so do not worry about that if you're a newbie AK guy out there for that. Put this together again, guys. Put it back down the receiver. This gun is very smooth in terms of we want to call it overall functionality. Basically, it's not past the bullet. There we go. Okay, it's very smooth. I just want to show you that right now. That's by putting my pinky on here. No problem. See, it's very smooth on there. No problem. It's basically I'd say on par. Let me see how far. It's basically almost on par with my my Arsenal SAM 7 series AKs out there, except those ones are slightly we want to call it slightly more smoother because they have a little bit more tighter tolerances on there for that as well too. So let me put this thing back together. You have a RPK style rod inside of the spring mechanism on it as well too, so it's actually a beefier design as opposed to your typical AKM clean rod, or not the clean rod. I'm saying the recoil rod plus the spring there as well too. So it's a little bit beefier in that aspect. Put the cover back on, guys. Here, get going again. Put it back up in there, up in the groove. This one's just slightly off. There's a teeny bit right here. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, there you go, guys. Back together. I'll show you how it cycles here. Smooth enough to me. Feels good to me. I don't have any complaints about it being not smooth, too smooth, or not smooth enough on or for that. I also want to mention some people, your safety lever on there, it might be too tight or too loose or whatever on there. This one right here and this one right here, it's just a little bit loose for me, but basically you can fix that problem simply by taking the safety arm off on here and bending it in. I'll show you how to do that right now, because I'm out to show the people right now while I get the gun down here for a review, so you can actually see how it's going to affect that on there. Get the thing out again. What you want to do, put your bolt all the way up front. Simply take your safety mechanism, rotate it up like so, and pull it straight out, just like that. See, that's all you gotta do, guys. Ain't rocket science. And basically what you want to do is you want to bend this whole area. I'd say start up here, bend slightly up in this area, and it's like putting a vise or something like that, and just bend it slightly right up there. Then you can also bend it slightly in the back here by the your arm right here. Bend it slightly down right here in towards the stock, and that'll basically put more tension against the receiver, so it's a bit tighter, because I've seen a lot of AKs out there, the thing was like way too loose, and this thing was basically jumping around, and it can get so bad where it can jump right back up to your safety position and it might get slammed against with your bolt carrier in there for that. So just keep an eye on that right there. If it's too loose, tighten it up. If it's too tight, maybe loosen up a little bit on there for that and put it back together. So that's basically everything I'm going to tell you about that right there. Let me put it back in here for you guys. Okay, line it up the holes. Get in there. These things, it removed out of place on there again. Let me get my where's my light at? Yeah, moved out of position on there just a teeny bit. And let me push that back in position on there. There we go. Okay, that should be fine now. Okay, they even have a we're gonna call it serial number on this thing as well too. It looks like E00, but it doesn't correspond to any of the numbers on any other parts of their rifle as well too. So I don't know why they even put that on there. It's not lining up completely in there. Let's see if I can put that back out there again. There we go. Okay. Got it lined up now, guys. All problem solved. No problem. Sometimes I don't have a light pointing right down, so I can't really see the hole in the back there. It's basically blocking by the dust cover on, or not the dust cover, the scope rail. Sorry about that. Put it back together. line up the front, the cover portion right there. Give it a good pop. You're good to go. The last thing I can tell you, no problem, guys. Nice and smooth, just like a milled should be on there for that. And I'll show you the magazine test here as well too. Next magazine, I got 3 magazines here. I got the TAPCO, or as I call them, CRAPCO magazines they get from the factory, which I do not like because TAPCO is mainly meant for AK, or not AK, I mean AR-15 style rifles. I would not put any TAPCO stuff on any of my AKs if it was the last thing I did, and I'll show you why. The magazine won't lock in here at all, guys. It will not lock in here. It goes right there and it stops. It goes right there and stops. It won't lock in. The back lug will not lock in. It looks like there's markings on it, but it will not lock in there. I can basically do this one here. It's almost like one finger. Locks in perfectly fine. That's an AK-103 slab or a Ridgeback easy marked one. This is a typical Bakelite. This is locking perfectly fine as well too. No problem, guys. They do have there's a teeny bit of wobble right there. No problem. I wouldn't worry about it. This one has a teeny bit of wobble too. Snaps right in. Teeny bit of wobble. Not worry about it at all. But the good old CRAPCO magazines made by TAPCO for your AK will not lock in here right at all. You can see I'm pushing on it, the damn thing won't even lock. It'll basically like stick halfway in and halfway out and won't, see, it'll basically stick halfway in and halfway out. TAPCO, that's crap. That's going in the garbage right there. So that's basically my review of the new DDI forged milled receiver with the black quote Arsenal furniture on there. I believe the only furniture on here that it is Arsenal is probably the pistol grip. And you heard all my comments, all the pros, all the cons I've seen about here for that. So if you guys have any questions, comments, whatnot about this rifle, this one is a quote limited production rifle. These things will probably be sold out relatively quickly in a short amount of time, probably within about 1 or 2 weeks from today, or from back in. These things came out immediately, I think around what was it called? Thanksgiving. Sorry about that. Thanksgiving time. So these things will probably be sold out by Christmas, and most of the retailers for that. So you guys have any questions, comments, whatnot, just leave me a message on my page here, and I'll try to answer any questions you guys have about this specific rifle here, and I'll help you out as best I can, guys. I'll see you then. Have a nice day.